The Philippines says one of its naval sailors has been seriously injured in what it has called and quote, intentional high-speed ramming by the Chinese Coast Guard in the South China Sea. Manila reporting the incident took place during a resupply mission Monday to the grounded Sierra Madre ship. This is located near the second Thomas Shoal. Both countries have traded blame for this collision. The Chinese Coast Guard saying a Philippine resupply ship in the area ignored many solemn warnings from the Chinese side. Beijing says the Philippines approached the Chinese vessel in, quote, an unprofessional way, resulting in a collision. It's accusing the ship of illegally entering the sea near the reef. China's Coast Guard added it took control measures in accordance with the law, and that would include boarding the vessel to conduct inspections, the first time it has done so. The Coast Guard also reportedly used water cannon and seized some weapons on the vessel. The incident is the latest in a string of altercations between Beijing and Manila in the South China Sea, and tit-for-tat allegations of who committed which wrongdoing. Beijing claims most of the waters, but those claims have been disputed by several Southeast Asian nations, while an international court ruled in 2016 that China's stance had no legal basis. And for more, Bernard Bernal joins us live from Manila. Bernard, let's return to that incident on Monday. What more do we know about the condition of the Philippine sailor?
The Philippine military said that the injured Philippine Navy personnel has already been safely evacuated. And although the armed forces of the Philippines did not officially disclose details of the injury, did not officially reveal the identity of the personnel, there have been local reports quoting a source that the injury involved a finger being cut off. The Philippine military did say that the injured Philippine Navy personnel has already received prompt medical attention. Now, the Philippines is also accusing China of damaging its boats during that resupply mission to second Thomas Shoal. The Philippines has labeled China's actions as unprofessional, as unacceptable and aggressive. It is also calling on the China Coast Guard to stop escalating tensions in the West Philippine Sea, which is how the Philippines calls its maritime zone in the larger South China Sea. The Philippines National Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. also called China's actions as dangerous and reckless, and he also vowed that the armed forces of the Philippines will resist these actions. He added that such actions contravenes statements from China of good faith and decency, and he also said that these actions should make it clear to the international community that it is China that is the trouble or obstacle to peace and stability in the South China Sea. Now, finally, the United States, which is the Philippines' sole military treaty ally, backed the Philippines and condemned China's actions as escalatory and irresponsible. It also reaffirmed that an attack on Philippine government vessels, including those of its Coast Guard in the South China Sea, will trigger provisions of the Mutual Defense Treaty between the two countries, which has a commitment that an attack on one is an attack on the other.
Bernal, these remarks coming out of Philippine authorities is not just that incidents themselves are taking place more frequently in the South China Sea. It's also this part of this transparency strategy by the Philippines to make these incidents more obvious to the international and local community. How have locals in the Philippines reacted to these ongoing tensions in the South China Sea?
When it comes to the conflict of the Philippines and China in the West Philippine Sea, 65% of Filipinos see that tensions are rising. That's according to a survey by research firm WR Numero released last March. Now, in a survey by the same firm in the final quarter of 2023, however, only 14% of Filipino respondents believe that China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea should be prioritized by government because the bread and butter issues such as poverty reduction are at the forefront. However, there are analysts and bureaucrats in the Philippines saying that the Philippine public sentiments are malleable and that the Philippine government shouldn't force a narrative or hype up the West Philippine Sea issue because ultimately The Philippines' efforts of disclosing what happens out at sea, dubbed as this Transparency Initiative, will shine a light on China's actions, and that ultimately, they say, is what will influence the public's sentiments. Now, this resupply mission that was disrupted Monday was headed to BRP Sierra Madre, the Philippines' grounded World War II ship, in Second Thomas Shoal. And in that 2016 arbitral tribunal ruling that stemmed from a suit filed by the Philippines, the Second Thomas Shoal was actually ruled as a low tide elevation that does not generate any maritime entitlement, meaning to say that the entitlement on it will be based on the nearest major landmass. And in that 2016 ruling as well, it was declared that the Second Thomas Shoal is within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone and continental shelf.